Practice. Problem with practice. When you sign up for singing lessons and you're young, you don't necessarily realise that that's what you're signing up for, that you're going to need to practice. What is singing? Why do people sing? Because they want to express themselves. They want to participate musically. They want to join other people. They want to pretend to be somebody else. There are many, many reasons why people choose to learn how to sing. And practicing doesn't sort of fit into that vision. What is practice? Practice is repetition of patterns to change habits. That's simply what it is. It's repeating stuff to change habits so that they become embedded in your memory, and memorizing music, memorizing words, just doing it over and over again in the right kind of way with the right mindset. So how can you encourage your students to practice effectively? Firstly, you need to know why they're practicing and what they're practicing. So work out what you're asking them to do, which exercises, which little patterns, why they're doing it, what it's aiming to achieve, and what they may expect to see after 2 weeks, 1 month of doing these exercises. There has to be some kind of tangible outcome, even if it's in the medium term. So you're planning. Then have a conversation with the student. Have you done any practice this week? Be honest. Perhaps we need to keep a diary so that you write down honestly exactly what you've done. It might be nothing. It might be 10 minutes just the night before your singing lesson. Just let's start with an honest outcomes of what you've done. Then we can start to negotiate. We can make a plan. What do you think is reasonable? Do you think you could do 10 minutes 3 times a week? Let's plan exactly what those 10 minutes are going to look like. And then you give them the plan. Maybe you need to record things onto a voice note for them so that they can listen to that. People do like to have a prompt. Maybe just a written schedule is not enough. Maybe a recording, a little video might be helpful. Then take them through it, get them to write down what they did, what it felt like, whether they then felt like hanging around afterwards and singing through a couple of songs just for fun. Because that's very, very useful practice as well, as long as you've done the exercises first. When I used to teach cathedral choristers, they were quite young kids. They were singing a lot every day, and fitting in practice was just, I think, too much to ask, especially for the younger ones. So what I then asked them to do was to, when they did sing, to do it mindfully, to find moments when they were doing some repeated pattern, singing a very familiar, simple tune over and over again, that they could then address some attention to what's going on in my head and neck here. What am I feeling in my knees? What are my shoulders feeling like? Am I able to have a sense of some kind of buzz in front of my face? Am I feeling some kind of resonance while I do it? Can I get really, really clear sound while I do it? All of those are all practicing technique. They're all addressing those older habits and replacing them with newer ones. That's what we're doing. Then hopefully when the student realizes that there is some kind of tangible outcome from this, that in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they have improved, they are able to do the thing that they weren't able to do. And you've identified it, they've identified it, you've agreed that they can now do it. Then they have bought into that, and they are much more likely to then extend and do practice for longer and really appreciate the benefits. It's a very, very difficult lesson to learn, and many people never really learn it in a lifetime. So set your expectations fairly low and see how you go.